we're not going to do all this from a logical perspective. We're going to do it from an emotional perspective. It's so much easier to remember something if it's got an emotional pull to our heart versus our head. So here's how I think of this circle. What you're looking at here is called, I call it a jam card. It is a tiny little snippet of the circle of fifths, which is a perfect mathematical equation. Everything you need to know about music is on the circle of fifths. All the notes in the order that they're in relate to each other in a very specific manner. And when you learn something once in one key, you've learned it in all 12 keys. So that's the coolest part. And I always come back to key of C, even in my own mind, when I'm trying to, think in another key, I'm trying to think of the relationship. I sometimes revert back to thinking about the key of C first. And then I find the answer for the other. So in the key of C, C is 1. D minor is 2. And notice we went up alphabetically. And this is a beginner class, so we are going to be starting off with some very basics here. Number 3, alphabetically going up, is E. That's our E minor. Then we jump over here to number 4 on the left, to the left of 1. We leapfrog over here to 5. That's our G. Although the 5, that's the position within the scale. It's called the 5th degree of the scale, can often be played with a little 7 on it. The 7 does not have anything to do with the number 5. The number 5 and number 7 are 2 different contexts, but the 5 chord can be played with a little 7 on top. And what that does is it just adds tension. We don't always want it, and we'll find that out pretty soon in one of our songs. You can't play the G7, you have to play the G. But can you hear? Of the G7, what note stands out the most in that chord between the G major and the G7? This one, right? The F. You can hear it. It's like, meow. It's got something to say. It's very dramatic and emotional. Okay, so that's 5 so far. So we went C, D, E, F, G. And then number 6 is the A minor, which is right inside the circle from C. Now there is a number 7. It's the diminished, the B diminished. But we don't need to worry about that because all of our pop songs we use don't use the 7th degree of the scale. I used to have it on my card, and then I went and showed these cards to Daniel Ho, and he said, I just teach it as a 6-chord scale. I don't even teach the 7th chord, because by the time you get to the 7th chord, you're into jazz music, and you probably don't need something like this anymore, right? So we won't even use the 7th T, do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti. All right, so here's the story. Number 1, C is the king of the realm. He is a benevolent king. He cares a lot for his constituents. He wants everybody to be happy and healthy and thriving, as a king should be. And if I played one song in the key of C with just a C, it would probably be like a little lullaby, because it doesn't go anywhere, right? It's just, and then ta-da. If I had a little infant at home, I might be like, you're awake, it's the morning and you're awake. There's no drama, right? When we want to add a little bit of drama or playfulness, we bring in the 5 chord. And so if you think of it as the little infant in the cradle, you would play just the 1 chord. That's the C chord. But once the baby in the cradle gets a little older, they're going to want to dance around and play around a little bit. And so now you need a little bit of contrast between the 1 and the 5 chord. So if we play the 5 with that 7 on top, especially the G7, it will go, it pulls us back to C. And the way I think of it as this is the king's right-hand man, his bodyguard. This is the head of the troops. Okay, he's his bodyguard, but he's kind of like going, Hey, what are you doing? Hey, let's go out and do something. Hey, should we go to war? War would be kind of fun, wouldn't it? And the king says, no, no, no. We are a peaceful realm. We don't need war. And the G7 says, okay, well, at least let's go for a walk or something. He's like a little puppy dog, right? He's just got all of this energy. And the more you hear him, he's like, oh, I have some ideas for today. Oh, do I have some ideas for today? We're going to be going out. We're going to be playing football in the morning. I got all the stuff all set up. I'm going to get everybody to come out. It's going to be so much fun. And then after that, we're going to, and you can just hear that anxiety, but it's like a playful anxiety, right? The more I do it, the more you wish that we would resolve back to C. So when we play these songs, you're going to start to tune into your intuition for that feeling of playful excitement. That's the G7 of all these chords. Playful excitement. It's not dramatic. He's not coming in there with some kind of issue. He's not depressed. He doesn't have a tragic story to tell you. It is simply helpful and playful and movement. And then the one, ta-da, the one makes us feel at rest. So when we're emotionally connecting to what we hear, we're going to be listening for rest, playful excitement, and then rest again. So let me stop sharing for a moment. We'll play a song. You guys have probably all played this song, Jambalaya. But this song is good for beginners because it's simple. It's 2 chords. So as we're playing it, we can sing some of the lyrics. I won't sing them too loud. I'm going to protect my voice. You can sing them at home. But you're going to be feeling in your intuition, in your heart, how these chords make you feel. And I want you to really tune into, I feel at rest. I feel lifted. I feel at rest. Okay? 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. And then we switch. Then we stay. And then we switch. That's the whole thing. We stay on 1. And then we switch. We stay on 5. And then we switch. Now, what strum am I doing? This isn't a strumming class, but I'll tell you, I'm doing my Mosey strum. I'll show you just real quick. I go touch, up, down, up. Touch, up, down, up. So when I put that all together, I'm doing the flat tire rhythm, which is the shuffle or the swing. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2, right? 2 and 4 need to be accentuated. So we have a little bit of a backbeat. Kind of just makes it fun instead of this. We could do that, then we'd all be distracted at how bad my strum sounds. So instead, and I'll count the beats. It goes 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, switch, 2, 3, 4, 1. Then we stay, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and switch. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, and then we switch. You may be going, oh my God, this is so rudimentary. I know this stuff already. 1, 2, 3, 4. Don't worry, we'll get to some more juicy stuff very soon. So crawfish pie, that's a crawfish pie, filet gumbo, a little faster, 'cause tonight I'm gonna see my share of meal. Pick guitar, fill fruit jar, and be gay. Son of a gun, we'll have big fun on the bayou. Oh, crawfish pie, something. I'm sorry, I don't actually know all the lyrics anymore. It's been so long. But you can feel the tension of the chord. And then we're back to the 1. And now we're at rest. rest. One more time. We're at rest, and we're up in the sky. We hold that tension of the chord, and then we enjoy our rest. Ta-da! Is the one chord, okay? So that's the king and his best friend. Now the queen comes in and she sits on the other side of the one. Okay, so the one is in the middle. The 5 is to the right of that. The queen is on the left. The queen is the F chord, the 4. C, D, E, F. The queen is majestic. She's beautiful. She's compassionate. She's full of compassion. You can hear it. But I have to go back to the 1 or else our ear will start to think that she's the 1. The F is the 1. Okay, so whenever you're learning how to train your ear, you got to make sure your ear always knows what key we're in. And to do that, you can simply do a 1-5-1 very quickly. Ta-da! Now my ear is tuned to the key of C. So when I hear an F, it feels like we're stepping away from home just a little bit, and then we go right back. It's almost like someone's like, hey, have you thought about it this way? But it's a very gentle, just a very gentle thing. It's not depressing. She doesn't have a huge statement. It's not a big statement. It's not that far from that feeling of rest. Okay, it's another restful feel, but it's not exactly correct. If I said, okay, which one of these is the resting chord? This one would be it. Now listen to the way those two relate to each other. She says, I have an idea, and he says, yes, dear. It's this wonderful, communicative relationship. Their marriage is secure. There's no arguments here, although they say it's okay to argue in a marriage. Thank God. Because Perry and I argue all the time. So can you hear? So the difference between the F and the G is that they both relate to C in a very familiar way, in a very calm way, but one of them just sounds upbeat and really like kind of just got a lot of energy, and the other one just kind of I'm just explaining how I feel about it, just full of wisdom and knowledge. And then that this guy is the center. Everything relates back to the 1 chord. I've got one. Now in the key of C, there's only 3 major chords, because there's only 6 chords in the key, right? There's 3 on the outside, there's 3 on the inside. So we call these the major chords of the key. The 1, the 4, and the 5. Bazillions of songs have been written in 1-4-5. One of them is, well, we did it here at Reno. We did Trailer for Sale and King of the Road. So the King of the Road, I'm going to give you the pattern. Do you guys know what the 1 chord is? Just say it out loud. C, in the key of C anyway. The 4 chord is F. The 5 chord is G. Okay, so the pattern is 1-4-5-1, 1-4-5-5. Just play that amongst yourself real quick. This is the intellectual part of the class. You're going to logically make your decisions. 1-4-5-1, 1-4-5-5. We're going to hold that tension for a little while. And why? Because the person who wrote the song decided that we would. We're just memorizing what the songwriter wanted, right? And the cool thing is the melody is going to harmonize with the chords that were chosen. So if you accidentally change to the wrong chord, but you keep singing the melody, you'll hear the clash. And that's a different class, is how to do our own chord melody solo. I love doing that class. We've done it a bunch of times. That's where you take a melody and you take the chords and you embed them in. But you can even just take a melody and not even know what the chords are, and you can find them, because the melody informs what the harmony should be used with it. I'll give you the example on this song. I'll switch to the wrong chord. What did I say? 1, 4, 5, 1, right? So that would be 1, 4, 5, 1. That's how it starts. So I'd say, trailer for sale or rent, room to let, 50 cents. My voice is not back to normal yet. Trailer for sale or rent, room to let for 50 cents. But if I held on to the 4 instead, it would sound like this. Trailer for sale or rent, room to let for 50 cents. Sounds weird, right? Trailer for sale or rent, room to let for 50 cents. It's odd. It just doesn't. Now there's tension within the melody and chords, but this is a bad tension. It's weird. But if I go, trailer for sale or rent, room to let for 50 cents. Can you hear how it's like the harmonies, which are the chord, support and lift up the melody? So when you're in a jam and you're not quite sure which chord to use and you use the wrong one and you keep singing, you'll know instantly that you used the wrong one. That's step 1. That doesn't mean, oh shoot, I made a mistake, I'm not good at this. That's, oh damn, my ear heard it. I heard it. It was wrong. That's great news. I could tell that it's not right. I got to go find the right one. And if it's a 1, 4, 5 song and it's not the resting chord, it's going to be the other one. It's either going to be the 4 or the 5. You have very few options you have to like quickly jump onto. Perry and I do that in our band all the time with songs that we know. I jump into another key sometimes. It's like we just did one song in one key and we'll do another song in another key that I know inside and out. But somehow in my mind, it crisscrosses and it jumps into the other key by accident. I'm like, I'm heading to the 2, but I go to the 2 of a different key. The moment I strum that chord, I go, oh, whoops, and I jump on to the right one. And you have to make those very quick decisions. But that comes from experience, right? I certainly didn't know what to do when it first started happening. We develop the strength of our audio cortex by failing over and over and over again. That's very exciting. So let's look at it as exciting and not like, oh, I'm not a good musician. Because being a worse musician is not trying at all, right? Okay, let's play the song. Do you remember the pattern? 1, 4, 5, 1. 1, 4, 5, 5. I should have chosen a different key. We're going to transpose anyway today, so I'll be able to sing it then. And a 1, 4 strums apiece. A 1, 2, 3, 4. We'll just play the pattern first. To the 4, the 5, the 1. Same strum. 1, 4. Now hold the 5. 1, 2, 3. Here we go. Trailers for sale or rent. Room to let for 50 cents. No phone, no pool, no pets. I ain't got no cigarettes. I smoke old stogies I have found. Short but not too big around. I'm a man of means by no means. Oops. King of the... Now should we stay on the 5? I did say the pattern, right? 1, 4, 5, 1, 1, 4, 5, 5. We did that once. Then we did 1, 4, 5, 1. But now we got to do 1, 4, 5, 1. Road. So we only stayed on the 5 for 1 of the 4 cycles. Now here's that audio stuff I was talking about. The pattern was 4 strums apiece. 1, 4, 5, 1. 1, 4, 5, 5. 1, 4, 5, 1. 1, 4, 5, 1. That's a long pattern to have to remember. It's longer than a phone number, and we don't really remember phone numbers anymore. By the way, you got to remember phone numbers. I know we all have it on our phone, but that's one of the reasons why the scientists are worried about our brains, and they're worried about Gen Z's brains, because we don't have to remember stuff anymore. We have it right here. So anytime you can memorize something, do it, because it makes your brain work hard. But what I'm telling you is not to memorize this right now, other than 1, 4, 5, 1. And then at one point, we hold the 5 because we want that playful, expectant feeling. It's not that we have to hold the 5 because the pattern says 5. We hold it because we don't want to resolve it at that time. We want to keep that lifted. When do we keep it lifted? The melody will inform you when. The rest of the time, it's just a 1, 4, 5, 1. And guess what? If you go to the 1 when you're supposed to hang on the 4, you'll hear it and you'll jump on the 5. But you're letting your intuition guide you based on the emotional quality of the chord. Okay? So we'll do it one more time. 1, 2, 3, 4. Trailers for sale or rent. Room to let for 50 cents. No phone, no pool, no pets. I ain't got no cigarettes. I smoke old stogies I have found. Short but not too big around. I'm a man of means by no means. King of the road. You can also feel that. That's the dynamic quality of that chord, right? We're still playing a G7. And we could just go, King of the road. But it's fun to go, King of the road, right? Same amount of beats goes by. So that's kind of a different thing than knowing what chord you're on, the emotional quality of it. How do you execute that chord? Just make sure that you're having fun with it when you're playing along with others. Okay, so the 1, the 4, the 5. Let's do another song that really punctuates the 4. The 4, I said, is the queen. She's the compassionate one. I think of her as Mother Mary. And there's a perfect song to describe her by the Beatles. Let It Be. But for Let It Be, we do need one more chord. I'll describe her qualities later. In this case, though, it's the A minor. And instead of the G7, we're going to need to play the G. The most popular 4-chord progression in all of Western music since the 1970s is this pattern. 1, 5, without the 7. 6, which is on the inside of the circle. 4. 1, 5, 6, 4. Now the 6, I'm going to describe in a minute because I want to get into detail, but we're just going to use the 6 for right now. She can be quite depressing, but in this context, she's just kind of faintly poetic. She's not like devastating. We can make her feel devastating by surrounding her with other chords. But in this case, she's with all the sunshine chords. She's with the 1, the 4, the 5. Those are the major chords of the key. They're the happy chords of the key. The inside are the sad chords of the key, or poetic, depending on their context. In this case, she's up there with all the sunshine, so she's not going to be like devastated. That's the A minor. That's the queen. That's the king's sister. She's a widow. Her king died. And when she's by herself in her own realm, oh my God, is she depressing. But when she comes to visit her brother, suddenly she's got a little bit of a lifted spirit, right? That's the A minor, the 6. And you'll notice it's right on the inside of the circle. Let me bring this up again. Right inside from the king. Okay, so this is the king's sister. These are called relative relationships, the inside and the outside. They actually look a lot alike, don't they? The C major and the A minor. They share 2 open strings in the middle. So they both have a C note. They both have an E note. But the C chord has a G note, and the A minor does not have a G note in it by itself. It has an A instead. So of the 3 notes that each chord has, they share 2. You can think of it as sharing DNA. They're very closely related. And it's kind of opposites to each other too at the same time. C major is 1, A minor, all by herself. Oh, all of a sudden it's just the mood gets brought down. But again, we're going to pair her with all the sunshine chords, so she's going to sound a lot more cheerful. Do you remember the pattern? Show me on your fingers what the pattern was I just gave you. The most popular 4-chord pattern in all the music from the 1970s on. 1, 5, 6, 4. Now play 4 beats of that each, and I want to see if any other songs pop into your head, and you'll let me know, okay? Just one moment. Okay, I'm back. My nose is a little redder than before, but maybe I can pump up my cheeks and you can't tell. Did anybody else hear any other songs when you're playing those 4 chords? Any other melodies pop into your head? What about, well, you done me and you bet that I felt it. I tried to be chill, but you're so hot that I melted. I fell right through the cracks. Now I'm trying to get back. Remember that song by Jason Mraz? It was so popular. We'll actually start with that real quick because it's only the same 4 chords over and over and over again. I just sang it. What was the first line? Now it suddenly left my brain. Well, you done me or you dawned on me? I'm not quite sure what it. Well, you done me? I'm gonna say done. Yeah, Kathy says done. Ridiculous. Just want to say Jason Mraz, if you haven't looked him up, man, is he a vocal artist like you wouldn't believe. You just wouldn't know it because the only songs that were popular were the ones on the radio. He can scat like you can't believe. It's just gorgeous. So let's do that song, and we'll do 8 strums a piece instead of 4. The pattern was 1, 5, 6, 4. And I will bring this up on the screen for your visual cortex because I want you to start to think of these chords in relation to each other the way you see it on the circle of fifths. Okay? Because when we switch keys and we have a new number 1, the visual pattern of how to play it will not change. That's the constant, right? So here we go. I'm Yours by Jason Mraz. 1, 2, 3. Well, you done me and you bet that I felt it. Tried to be chill, but you're so hot that I melted. Fell right through the cracks. Now I'm trying to get back. Same strum for the cool done run out. I'll be giving it my bestest. Nothing's gonna stop me but divine intervention. Reckoning to get my turn to win some or learn some, but I won't hesitate no more, no more. It cannot wait. I'm yours. Do 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 do. Da da da. Hey. And there's that. Okay, so what chord is this? The 4 chord. Go ahead and play the 4 chord because our ear is tuned to C, so we know what number 1 should feel like. Just play that 4 and just check in with yourself and be like, this is the compassion chord. It has some wisdom to impart to me. And then I go back to the 1. Wasn't a huge jump from the 4 to the 1 audibly. It's called a perfect fourth relationship. That's the interval. Perfect fourth, perfect fifth. That's the name of those relationships. Okay, now let's do Let It Be by the Beatles. But here's the deal. We're going to bring in that widow down there in the big blue circle. For the first pattern, we bring her in. For the second pattern, she's replaced by the queen. For the whole time that we would be playing the widow, we're going to play the queen instead. You'll be able to hear that redemptive quality. And the amazing thing is, the way the song was written, the lyric is going to say, when we jump to the 4 chord, it's what Mother Mary is saying to us. So let me have your ear understand the difference between an A minor and an F. Go ahead and play your A minor. It's got a little devastation to it. It's sad. It's just sad, right? Which is good. You know, we need ups and downs in our life. Otherwise, happy wouldn't feel so happy. Now play the F. As soon as you add that F note, you change the E note into an F. All of a sudden, there's this feeling of like the clouds have parted and the sunshine is shining through. Can you feel that when you play those 2 different chords? I'll play it with you. A minor. Now F. All of a sudden, the clouds have parted and I can feel the warmth of the sunshine on my face. I call it a redemptive quality. You feel redeemed from the pit. The prodigal son is outside the gate. I don't deserve it. And the king opens the gate. The queen says, come here, I'll give you a hug. And it's just, this redemption. Okay? So, once again, the pattern, the most popular 4 chord pattern since the 1970s was 1, 5, 6, 4. And then when we play it the second time through, we're going to skip the 6 and go straight to the 4. And what you're thinking is, I'm going to go straight to the queen. Mother Mary says to me, let it be. Okay? So here we go. When I find myself in times of trouble, Mother Mary comes to me, speaking words of wisdom, let it be. You hear how we went straight to her and she said, let it be. The nice thing is the melody note stays the same over the 4 and the 5, which is just called, I believe that's called oblique harmony, when one thing stays but the harmony underneath it changes. It's so beautiful and just something worth noting. So let's do that. In my hour of darkness, same pattern. 1, 2, 3, 4. And in my hour of darkness, she is standing right in front of me, speaking words of wisdom, let it be. Now let's see if we can figure out the chords for the chorus. I'm going to tell you right now, it starts off on the 6. Let it be, let it be. Guess what chord comes next? Try something out, and then I want you to show me on your hands what number you think the correct chord is. Okay, I see 2 hands. Oh, we got some variations. Okay, some people think it's the 4, some people think it's the 5, someone thinks it's the 1. We got to put ourselves back in context to find out. I can't just start from that place anymore because now my ear is confused because I've been talking. So we're going to go A minor. Let it be. The general consensus was the 4. Let's try that first. Let it be. I don't know. Let it be. Let it be. Let it be. Oh, let it be. I don't think so. Let me see. Let it be. Let it be. Almost sounds like the C chord could work. Let me try the 5. Let it be. Let it be. that sounds good too. The 5 chord kind of sounds very supportive, doesn't it, for the melody? Let it be, oh, let it be. Sounds to me that it goes 6, 5, 4, 1. Let's try it. And then we'll see if anyone disagrees. We can talk about it. A minor. Let it be, let it be. No, the 5 is something strange. It doesn't work. Let it be, A minor. Let it be. It's not the 4. I know it's not the 4. It doesn't feel right. 4 is going to come later. It's not the E minor. It's not the D minor. Those ones are too dramatic. They're on the peripheral. So it's got to be something. Let it be, A minor. Okay, let's get another consensus. What chord do you think is the right? Let it be. The note. The note is an A note, so the chord probably has an A note in it. We're still thinking it's a 4? Let it be, let it be, let it be, oh, let it be. Okay, a 4 chord pattern. I know the 4th one is C. I know the first one is A minor. Kathy thinks it might be 2. Let it be, let it be. No, it can't be the 2. It's too dramatic. The 2 and the 4 can be interchanged, by the way, sometimes. They're very closely related as well. They're the relative, right? F to D minor. They share 2 of 3 notes. But that's too dramatic. Let it be. Let it be. Oh, let it be. Okay. I think it goes from the A to the 1. Let's try it. Let it be. Let it be. That doesn't sound right to Vicky, but I don't know. And then the 4, let it be, oh, let it be. Back to the 1. But you know, I thought I had the song memorized, but the numbers aren't popping into my head, and I don't remember it being 6, 1, 4, 1. I think it goes to the 5. Yeah, I think you guys are right. I think it goes 6, 5, that kind of playful redemption feel, not redemption, but the playful, heightened playfulness. And then the 4, which is only 1 step down from the 5, and then back to the 1. 5, 4, 1. That's a very popular pattern. 5, 4, 1. So let's try that then. It's going to be the A minor to G, F, C. Let it be, let it be, let it be, oh, let it be. That sounds accurate to me. If it's wrong, then it's only wrong by a small variation, I think, because my ear is feeling very at rest with that. And then whisper words of wisdom. Where does it go from there? Wisdom. It's back to the 5, because that was our original pattern, was 1, 5, 6, 4. Let it be. So this song is somewhat easy to memorize. I know I've thrown a lot of numbers out, but I'm going to sum it up now, assuming that I'm correct on the chorus. This is the pattern. Starts with the most popular 4 chord pattern. 1, 5, 6, 4. And if you follow visually on the page, I encourage you to do that. Okay, so look at the 1, 5, 6, 4. 1, 5, 6, 4. It just makes a little like diamond circle kind of thing. And then it skips the 6, the second pattern. We just go straight to the 4. So it'll be 1, 5, 4, 1. When we do the chorus, it looks like it goes 6, 5, 4, 1. And then 1, 5, 4, 1 again. So the 1, 5, 4, 1 happens twice. A lot of numbers, but let's try it out. Again, we are teaching your intuition, not your eyes. So we're learning how to feel our way through this. I'm gonna try it out with you here. We'll do the verse first, okay? Remember, we don't start with the A until we go to the chorus. So we're starting in the verse, starting with the one chord. When I find myself in times of trouble, Mother Mary comes to me, speaking words of wisdom, let it be. And in my hour of darkness, she is standing right in front of me, speaking words of wisdom, let it be. I caught myself. Let it, chorus, be. Let it be. Let it be. Oh, let it be. Speaking words of wisdom, let it be. Now, do you know this part in the song? Bum, bum, bum. It goes into a more complex thing after that. But there's this one line where it goes from an F and it just trickles down the number system until it lands on 1. So play the F, which is 4, and then play the 3, and then play the 2, and then play the 1. It's usually the part on the paper where people are like, oh, I can't play that part that fast. And so we'd say, oh, just stay on the 4 then. You could just hold the 4 and it would sound like this. Or you could make it more interesting like the Beatles did and just trickle down the number system through the diatonic chords, which simply means the chords right in front of your face, the ones that belong in the key. They all have, all their harmonies are cohesive. I think of it like purebred, like this is a purebred key, a poodle. Nothing else has been mixed in, right? No sharps, no flats, just purebred. And we go 4, 3, 2, 1. So that's kind of interesting that the Beatles wrote it that way, but the cool thing is we can remember it because all we're doing is trickling down in the numbers backwards in the alphabet. Instead of going, oh, what were those numbers? 4, 3, 2, 1. I can remember that. 4, 3, 2, 1. It starts on the 4 and it trickles down until we hit the 1. Okay, I wanted to transpose in this hour-long class, but we are at the end, and I like the fact that we're still in the same key in our ear, because this is an ear class, right? So I don't want to confuse your ear too much. Next week, we're going to explore some of these ideas again in another key. But to finish up the class, let me show you this. This is your homework. If you're unfamiliar with the songs, then I encourage you to go to YouTube and listen to them. These are songs that have the same chords that just pretty much go over and over and over the whole time during the song. Okay? So they don't change, which is neat. Island in the Sun. Let's see if you can play this. Let me see if I can I'll give you both sheets, even though we're not supposed to look too much. I'm going to let you look. Okay, so given this numerical equation here at the bottom, it's told which ones are minors, which one's a dominant 7, right? See if you can play that pattern. It's only 2 strums apiece, by the way. Very cute song, even though it was like this, it wasn't punk, it was like, I guess like a nerd alt rock from my high school days, 2001. But this song is perfect for the ukulele. It sounds like this. Starting on the 6, then we'll go to the 2, then the 5, and then the 1. By the way, 2, 5, 1, you're going to hear that. It's ubiquitous. It's everywhere. 2, 5, 1, 2, 5, 1, 2, especially in jazz. 2, 5, 1. That's a pattern you want to memorize. And then the next thing that comes before the 2 is the 6. So 6, 2, 5, 1. This isn't just a random pattern. This is something you'll hear again and again and again and again and again and again. So let's try it out. 1, 2, 3, 4. The 6, 2, 5, 1. 6, 2, 5, 1. A minor, D minor, G7, and C. Even your hand goes in like a little circle, right? Now the pattern, the rhythm of the song is not this stable. It actually jumps the gun and stuff. We're not going to worry about that. It sounds like this. When you're on a holiday, you can't find the words to say all the things that come to you, and I wanna feel it too. On an island in the sun, we'll be playing and having fun, and it makes me feel so fine. I can't control my brain. Hip, hip, and it just does that again and again. If you want to play along with them on the video on YouTube, you know you can slow it down on YouTube. In the corner of the video on YouTube, there's a little cog that you can click, and it has playback speed. It will slow down for you, and it won't mess up the pitch. So if you need to play it a little slower, you can play along with them, but make sure you choose the key of G. We'll talk more about that next week, but this is the key of G. Notice that the numbers are in the exact same area, and the pattern was 6, 2, 5, 1. So these are the chords that you would play, 6, 2, 5, 1. We're not going to just yet. What I'm going to do is this portion of the video, we like to do a practice video so that when it's time for you to do your homework, you can just put on the practice video and you'll get all the instructions there, so you don't have to listen back through this if you don't want to. So I'm going to just ask, are there any questions that I can answer for you right now before we pause this video and start our practice video? Maggie?
Yeah. How do you know if you're going to do the minor or like the G7? You know, if you're going 1, 4, 5, what clues people into if it's G7 or G?
The melody. So, and that's a great question. Let me play a G7 on that pattern with Let It Be, and you'll hear. Your ear will know. Your ear will go, oh, that's too spicy. That's a little bit too, because the 7 is like the blues. It's got this angst to it. It's got this extra anxiety. So if I go, what's the song we were just doing? When I find myself in times of trouble, versus when I find myself in times of trouble. This one, times of trouble. I gotta do the right note with my voice. Find myself in times of trouble. The lyric is times of trouble, right? The G major is just very stable and supportive. But with the G7, it's kind of playful. And the word is times of trouble. So if I find myself in times of trouble. This one's like kind of telling a joke. But the feeling of the song and the feeling of the lyric says it's not time to tell a joke. It's time to just give a very supportive, strong, I'm standing right next to you and I got you kind of a feel. So the short answer is your ear will tell you.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Now, the major versus the minor, we will get into that more next week, because at the end of your sheet here, you'll see that we're going to do a Jim Croce song, and it's got a 2-7 and a 3-7 and a 4 and a 5-7. Usually the 2 and the 3, which are on the inside of the circle, those are supposed to be minor. But the songwriter can change those from a minor to a dominant 7 to give a different feel. And we'll still call it the 2, but we're going to just have to remember that it's not a minor. And next week, when we do more of the ear on that song, you'll get more information on that. Your ear will understand. So the short answer for whether it's major or minor is it's supposed to be the center circle is supposed to be minor, because all the notes that make up those minor chords are in the scale that we're talking about. C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C. There's no sharps. There's no F sharp. There's no E sharp. There's no D sharp. Those are all harmonious. And I like to say that, like, John Denver songs are mostly diatonic. He doesn't get in there with the bluesy. He doesn't use borrowed chords to make it dominant when it should be minor. Poetic and soft. He doesn't go, no, we're going to make it ba. It's like John Denver is more like just country roads. That's the same pattern, rather. Country road, take me home. All diatonic. To the place I belong. That's that same 4-chord pattern we just did, right? West Virginia, Mountain Mama. Go straight to the F. Take me home, country road. Let It Be and Country Roads are the same pattern. And they're all diatonic. They're using only notes from the scale. So nothing is standing out as like, look at me. But somewhere along the way, we can change an F to an F sharp. And suddenly we have a D7 instead of a D minor. And you can hear the electrical current within it. And it usually ties in with like the lyrics are electric. And so we'll get into more detail about that. Hopefully you're left with more questions than answers on that one. Because that means that you've got more to learn, and that's a very exciting thing. Okay, are there any other questions about today's class? Before we do, okay, we're going to do the practice video. So let me go, let me say goodbye on this is the lecture portion of the class. Well done, you guys watching at home, and head on over to your practice video.